as the conversion of St. Paul come from Jesus alone. The case of St. Paul is a special case, a case almost unique in the Gospels. Indeed, his conversion came from Jesus alone during an apparition. He had been initially Jewish, son of a Pharisee, and he believed that Christianity was a perversion of his religion, and therefore he had received letters or instructions to go to Damascus and to persecute the Christians, eventually having them stoned in the street. And now, on the way of Damascus, suddenly there had been a great flash of light, and the companions who were with him were quite upset. Some saw the light, others heard the sound of a voice saying, "Saul, Saul." Saul had been his birth name before his name became Paul. "Saul, why are you persecuting me? Why do you renacle before the call, the sting of the call? Who are you, Lord?" replied St. Paul. "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. But go to Damascus, and there you will find brothers who will tell you what you must do." St. Paul tells a little later that in his vision of light he saw absolutely unique things that no one cannot describe. He actually saw Christ appear to him in all his glory, and seeing his glory he had understood his gospel, but also his own sin, and all that instantly. So truly for Paul it had been a decision of Christ which had passed without the church at the beginning. Only afterwards, during the rest of his life's journey, would be for the church. It had been someone belonging to the church who will deliver Paul from his blindness. It had been someone also from the church who will baptize him. Why that? Because Jesus usually desires to return to faith to occur through the alliance between him and his power, that of his Holy Spirit and his friends. It is as always the first act that God performs when he saves us. It is to form us as priests with him, therefore to become mediators, collaborators. This is something surprising because Protestantism refuses this collaboration. Certainly we are instruments. He can do without us. We see him with St. Paul, but obviously he prefers to do so because the Church of Christ is a communion of saints. Catholics and Orthodox even add that this assignment of collaboration which continues for those who are with him in heaven, and they continue to help us, like Moses, for example, when he appears with Jesus on the day of this transfiguration. This is the same in our time. There are sometimes conversions that occur due to the Holy Spirit alone, but most conversions are done within the framework of a church through a friend who calls his friend to attend a meeting, and then the Holy Spirit takes the opportunity to touch this heart. So when these conversions are performed alone and are rare, often some people almost boast about it, saying, "I therefore do not need the church nor tradition. I became a Christian by myself." They are very wrong because often suddenly their own intelligence, with its own interpretations, extrapolations from the writings, and on occasions all thought they started from a real conversion, may well deviate incorrectly to anything at all imaginable. Whereas, on the contrary, if they have the humility to listen to the hundreds of generations of Christians who preceded them, who provided the holy tradition, dogmas, etc., then they would be formed within faith with the church, and their faith is much more likely to lead into its fullness, its intelligence, as it was the case for St. Paul.